Welcome everyone to Enlightened World Network. I am Deb Goldberg. I'm your host today as we are doing our day of transformation. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of technical difficulty today, but we are here with Jane Mountrose, and I'm so happy to have you here today, Jane.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm very grateful for what you are going to bring for us today. So let's just get started, and why don't you share with us what you're going to be leading us in today?
Okay. What I'm going to be doing, which I did a few weeks ago also on the network, was a process that we call soul centering, which is connecting with the love that you hold in your heart and using that spiritual energy in different ways. And it's really interesting because since the last time I was here and it was just a few weeks ago, our world has turned completely upside down in just that short time. And we're facing an unprecedented number of challenges like nothing probably most of us have experienced before. I actually started writing them down for a class that we were doing the other day, and the list just really startled me into recognition of what it is for people. And so I wanted to just go through that. So we're facing the fear of illness and possibly death, isolation from others and the lives we've taken for granted up until now, financial instability, loss of freedom and normalcy, emotional turmoil, future uncertainty, and more. It's a different thing for each of us personally. And if you look at it, just one or two of these factors would take a big toll on even a regular, a normal person. And we're dealing with all of them at one time. So I guess the first thing for all of us is to realize we have to be kind with ourselves about all of this. And also, what we're going to be talking about today is designed to help us to keep our spirits up so that we can be in the best possible place to address all of this. So I wanted to focus on two of what I consider to be the most important factors for successfully navigating through treacherous times like this, or even normal times. The first is aliveness. I call it aliveness. It's vibrancy, it's life energy, chi, you can call it whatever you want, but the energy that we have in our body affects everything, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, including our immune system, which is really important for each of us right now, and our ability to deal with the things that we're experiencing. And the other one is centering. And in our work, my husband Philip and I, we do coaching, healing. We're authors and ministers and trainers. And one of the things that I've noticed is a problem most frequently with people is that they're not centered, meaning they're not connected with their sense of who they are as beautiful spiritual beings, which is the truth that they hold in their heart, the love we hold for ourselves and others. And so we're going to do that centering process because it can change everything in a very short time for a person. I experienced that myself. I know that many other people who we have worked with have had the same experience. And I wanted to do, before I do the soul centering, I wanted to do just this little kind of exercise that we have with aliveness, just to really make the point. And so to begin, and these are light words and heavy words. And we're going to start with the heavy words. We're not going to stay there for very long. But it's interesting if you just listen and without resisting them, just notice how these words make you feel. I'm going to read this short list. Pandemic, crisis, loss, lack, fear, isolation, struggle, impossible, and no. And just as you kind of absorb them, and I'm going to read them another time, just notice what happens to your posture and how you feel emotionally. And most importantly, how alive you feel, maybe on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being like I feel I'm not alive at all, and 10 being the most alive. So here we go again. Pandemic, crisis, loss, lack, fear, isolation, struggle, impossible, and no. And I think this also it's a way to illustrate the effect that we have on the words that we're using with ourselves and the words that we're using to kind of explain what we're experiencing. And now, if you have measured that, hopefully measure it between 0 and 10, because we want to compare it to the light words. So here are the light words, and you can do the same thing. Just notice what you experience as I say them. And sometimes we'll have people actually say them aloud, which has even more of an effect, probably. So here it is: miraculous opportunities, hope, optimism, love, angels, lightheartedness, and yes. And again, notice your posture. It's interesting. Our posture is a reflection of our life energy too. Like we tend to kind of slump when our life energy goes down. And just notice how alive you feel. And I'll read them again. Miraculous opportunities, hope, optimism, love, angels, lightheartedness, and yes. And so in most cases, people notice a big difference with that. And the point is to understand how easily your reality can shift, because when you're in that that low energy place, you also have a different perspective on everything, what's possible for you, you know, how to interpret things, etc. And so with the situation we're facing now, it's more important than ever to take control of that. And we're going to also do a way to uplift your spirits even more as we do the soul centering process. So that's a little special bonus. We didn't have that last time. There are a lot of things you can do with it. So as I mentioned, it's a process of very simple, of connecting with the love you hold in your heart. And with that, I just have to mention there's tremendous value, and you can read about it. Like the Heart Math Institute has a lot of research on what happens when you create a positive relationship with your heart. And with most of us really being kind of more in our heads, it's your source of truth and divine wisdom, for one thing. That was one of the main factors that started me on the journey, really, and connecting with it, because I thought, well, what if these other people say they have the source of truth? Why can't I have it? So it accesses your truth and wisdom, and it's always available to get you on course and keep you on the path to your most joyful and fulfilling life, which we all want. And with the society being dominated by the left brain, we tend to resist the callings of the heart. So, and I think that part of it is actually in doing it over time is that you bring the heart and the head together so that they're working in harmony rather than opposing each other. Kind of like, I should do this, but my heart says that. Well, I'm going to have to follow this logical kind of a way to solve the problem or whatever. We want to bring a balance between the two. So I think for me, as I mentioned, soul centering completely changed my life. And it has the same potential, I think, for anybody who chooses to develop that kind of a soulful connection with their heart. So with that, I'm going to just start. And it's interesting because the idea of soul, Deb and I actually were talking about it a little before I started, that some people think like it's that thing out there that you don't really have access. It's not. It resides most, I think, deeply within the body. It resides most deeply within your heart. So when you connect with the love you hold in your heart, you're accessing the power of your soul. And from there, actually, from higher energies too. So here we go. So you might also want to notice how you feel now. You might feel better with the light words, but also just in terms of maybe the stress and disturbances you've been noticing, because we are going to bring in light that can help with that too. And as you gently close your eyes now, you can start by taking a few nice, slow, deep breaths, inhaling deeply and exhaling gently as you start to let go, and feel the tension starting to melt from your body with each exhale. And as you breathe, imagine filling your lungs with pure, clear air with each inhale and allowing any more tension that you notice. You can focus your breathing on areas if there is tension and just allowing it to melt away as you exhale and release. So with each breath, you feel more and more relaxed and your body can feel lighter. And as you continue to breathe, notice that inhaling fully is a way of fully embracing life. Sometimes we breathe at shallow. We want to breathe all the way down into our belly. And then exhaling fully is fully releasing the things that you don't really need now. So as you continue to do that, you find yourself feeling more relaxed, more at ease. And next, you can imagine sending some of this beautiful air into your mind with each inhale, allowing the cells of your brain to relax so your mind could feel clearer with each breath. And as you do this, you can ask any of those left brain thoughts that you don't need right now to drift away for a while. Maybe I imagine them going off in little bubbles and letting them know also that they can come back and evaluate. They want to come back and evaluate. And the time for that will come, but it's not right now, just after the process is done. So the point now is really just to breathe that beautiful light and energy and clear your mind and relax. And also as you do this, notice that you can allow your body and your mind to relax and also stay alert so you can listen to my words and feel clear about your perceptions. Next, remembering that your intention is powerful, you can ask any energy that's not your own to leave your space. We all pick up energy from other people, other places, other times, just like a tabletop picks up dust. So with your intention, you can ask all of that energy to go back where it came from, lovingly. And you may notice a feeling of clearing with that. And similarly, we leave bits of our own energy in other times, other places, with other people. So this is an opportunity with your intention to ask all of your energy to come back to you now. So you can just be here in your body in this moment. And you might even notice a feeling of that energy returning to you as you do that. And as a result, you may notice that you feel even more comfortable, relaxed, and free to be yourself. And as I mentioned, just to be able to be here in your body in this moment. It's also a good time now to notice how you feel at this moment compared with how you felt when you started or maybe before we even started. And focus on relaxing more into the moment, opening to the divine. Now, as you continue, focus on sending your breath into the area around your heart. You can even focus on breathing in loving energy. And as you send this loving energy into this area, notice that there's more and more love. You might feel an energy intensifying in your heart, or if you're visual, you might actually see a light that becomes brighter in your heart with every breath. And as you notice this and the energy intensifies, just allow it to start radiating out from your heart. The love, the light, and fill your whole body with it, all the way down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. And as all of that intensifies, allow it to radiate around you, all around you into that ball of light that is your energy field. And with that too, allowing that energy to expand out. And we tend to contract ourselves kind of to fit in, or because we don't fully embrace the beauty that is within us, the magnificence of who we are. This is your opportunity now. You're safe, you're free in this moment to allow that energy to expand out. And you might notice as you do that, that you do feel more free. and appreciate the truth of who you are more. And now for the best part, you can take this process a step further by shifting your focus to the area above your head and imagine another light there, which is radiating an even higher frequency of loving energy from your source in the higher dimensions. So you might feel it coming from the universe, the oneness, from God, from your creator. However you interpret it, it's fine, but we all have a source of light that we have access to. And interestingly, we don't generally focus on that, but this is a very powerful source for us. And if you had a challenge in your mind when we started, focus on it again now. Or you may also just want to focus on accessing the perfect energy for you right now. So we're returning back to that focus on aliveness, which I would presume if you were able to embrace this loving energy, you feel more alive already. But asking that light from your source to send down the perfect energy for you, whether it's for something specific or whether it's just the perfect energy for you now. And as you do that, just allow yourself to feel that light coming down from above, allowing it to flow through the top of your head. Again, filling your whole body with that higher frequency of light, all the way down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, and allowing it to radiate out. And you may find yourself expanding even more. Just feel that, how it feels. And it's worth noting here that you can ask for any specific energy that you want in any moment. For example, of course, you want first to center in your heart to be available for that energy. You can put your hand on your heart and focus on embracing that love and feeling that energy first, and then inviting that light from above. And you can even ask for maybe energy that makes you feel more joyful and bubbly. So let's do that. Just imagine asking for light, bubbly energy to come down and fill your whole body with that bubbly energy. You may even notice your cells tingling. And it makes me want to laugh. And then sending that out, radiating around you. So whatever you're experiencing, your source is available to send you healing energy or just enlivening energy. And it's a beautiful way to get into that place where you can be your personal best through these times, because it's always there. And interestingly, we all do have a relationship with our Creator, whether we know it or not. So I also, before we end, I want to mention that this is a place you can go also for spiritual wisdom. I think I suggested that before. And when you're in this place, all you have to do is, from this perspective, which is a more soulful perspective, when you are connected with the truth of who you are, then whatever your insights are, they're more soulful, right? So you can I like to ask a question about anything that I'm wondering about, like what is happening here? What would be a healthy way for me to view this current situation? And I usually personally I write down the question because I have an active left brain. I'll write down the question and then write down the answer without evaluating the words coming to me, because it's like this is a form of automatic writing and just allowing wisdom to flow through you onto the paper. It's much better for me because otherwise I'm going to question, well, is this right? Should I really, is this the right word, or is this the right sentence, or is this really true? You don't have to evaluate it, just write it down. You can evaluate it later. But you may be surprised how much spiritual wisdom you have. Like in the moment now, is there a message for you from this place? I think for me, the message that came through is that you are love. You know, we are love and we are loved. And it is actually our resistance to it that makes us believe that we're separate. And when we have an opportunity to recognize that it's the separation that is the illusion, then it opens us to possibilities we might not have imagined before. So to me, also coming towards the end, I think the most important point is you can do this anytime. Center yourself and access that uplifting energy. Bring down the perfect light from source. Access spiritual wisdom. And there's more. This is also the most powerful energy. We have developed healing processes based on this. And it transforms lives. It can transform yours. It has transformed mine and continues to. I really depend on it at this critical time myself. And then, of course, if the more we can just put our hands on our hearts maybe and breathe in some love during the day, we can feel more alive. We can feel more whole. So now as the process comes to completion, it's time to shift your awareness back to where you are in this moment, making note of your body's position and how you're feeling. And knowing that the end of the process doesn't mean that it's an end of this connection. So as you continue to breathe, you can breathe in more active energy and still hold that loving energy. As you return to your normal waking state, feeling again alert and alive. And as you prepare to move on to other activities, make sure that you're grounded. This is not about going off someplace else. It's really about bringing spirit fully into form. So make sure you're grounded with your feet firmly on the floor and realize that you can carry this loving energy with you everywhere by pausing and breathing more love into your heart. And I think the final point of this process is really important to me, because in the long term, soulfulness is a state you can reaffirm throughout the day by focusing again and again on love. And the more you do it, the easier it is, the closer you are to it, and the faster it comes back. This is also the thymus gland is right here. That's your source of life energy. If you tap on it, that can even help too. Just a few taps. Don't you don't have to have a lot of taps. Just a few gentle taps. You might even notice it's a very sensitive little spot there. So this, to me, is the way that I can maximize my resourcefulness and bring down the perfect energy so that I can deal with these challenging times. And so that's the soul centering process. And if it's okay, Deb, I would like to refer people to a place for something that we're doing now. Is that okay? I think there's more of a need now than ever to support each other, to connect with other like-minded people who understand us. And this is a beautiful forum for it. We also have my husband, Philip, and I, we're the founding directors of a nonprofit called Awakenings Institute, which is about creating a more loving world. And we're starting a spiritual first aid course and ongoing support group, which will be on Facebook this coming week. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, you can go to, I created a tiny URL because we have a big website and our URLs are pretty long. So it's tinyurl.com/spiritual-aid. So that's tinyurl.com/spiritual-aid. So blessings to everyone.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
That was such an amazing way of looking at staying in the light versus the heaviness of everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, you're bringing in, you're constantly able to bring in that light and wisdom and to feel that aliveness in you.
Right.
Yeah, so it felt really good. It was a great reminder that we don't have to go very far.
Right. Yeah, it's all in us. I think we have a holistic approach because everything is connected inside us, outside us, and everything has meaning and purpose. And and we're not victims. We can face these challenges.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I'm very thankful for your support today and bringing your gifts to Enlightened World Network for our
And
day of transformation.
yeah, thank you, Deb. That's beautiful what you're doing. I'm so appreciative.
Thank you. And is there a way, I know you mentioned the spiritual first aid class that you're going to do, but is there another way people can get in touch with you?
Well, they can contact me personally on Facebook,
Okay.
Jane Mountrose. And our website, the website actually is gettingthrough.org, gettingthru.org, and the main page is gettingthrough.org/holistic. We have, as I mentioned, a very large website with a lot of resources, including actually there's a version of the soul centering, which finding it might be a challenge. Maybe I'll put a link to it on my personal page on Facebook, or I could in the comments of this, but I guess this is not coming through immediately. Anyhow, I'll put a link to the soul centering process, which we have written out on our website. A link to that page for anyone who wants to pursue it more.
Okay, that sounds great. And so everybody have a wonderful day. And thank you for being here with us. And we will continue to broadcast. There might be replays, but we're going to put all these wonderful presenters on for you today. So stick with us and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks again, Deb.
Very welcome.